Now, just when I said yesterday that Florida didn't have the sunrises that Arizona Trail had, look at that. It's going to be a beautiful sunrise this morning, but this is my first one. So between sights and sounds and smell, compared to other trails I've hiked, a beautiful early morning in South Florida has to be the sounds. It just sounds like the whole world's alive out here. In the morning, everything's waking up. Beautiful morning. It's going to be a beautiful day. And right now I've got some really good tread, so I'm making some time. I'm assuming in most years it's pretty dry in this section of trail. And I've had a lot of dry, mowed, kind of two-track road this morning, but then you hit a wet area and just have to paddle through water for a while. And actually mud is the worst. So when you hit mud, it really slows you down. But I notice as I get further north, it's really getting to be more like Ocala National Forest. Not so much cypress, more piney forest, bayonet, ground cover, tall grass prairie. Not too many critters. This morning in the dark, I was in kind of a wet area and I could hear a huffing and something walking in water near me. So I don't know what huffs and likes the water, but I'm thinking maybe a hog. I don't know. I didn't stop to ask questions. I just kept moving. So this is Kitty Hawk, and I recognize him right away because he did this Florida trail with Kelly Hayes, that whole group, and I watched every one of their videos to plan this trip. And so when he walked up this morning, I knew exactly who this guy was. So that was kind of a kick in the pants running into Kitty Hawk. And, you know, it really reminded me that, I mean, you can do all the logistics you want on these trails. I watched all their videos. I watched other people's videos. I had the benefit of having hiked in Florida for many years and kind of knew what to expect. But there's still surprises until you get boots on the ground and, you know, see the kind of things you're gonna run into. But I can tell you this, your feet are wet, except for the, you know, the long dike and road walking down south. My feet have been wet all day, every day. Put them on wet in the morning. Try and get the sand out of my socks every night. It's just a chore that you have to deal with. The other surprises, I think, and it's probably because of the weather. Number one, I think I've had a wet season. Number two, the mosquitoes haven't been that bad. And now they're really kind of dropped off. trying to get across these bridges without falling in. So bridges like this are the exception, not the rule. I mean, you don't find a lot of these. I'm not sure how deep this little creek is here, but a lot of times you just come to these and go up over your knees to get past them. The trail crews have obviously been here and put some bridges in here, but again, getting your feet wet is going to be a constant. There's a lot of people behind me with foot problems that are having problems, and I don't know if that's from the wet feet. Wet doesn't seem to bother my feet at all. I mean, I've been walking now, I'm on 3 weeks walking with wet feet, and they seem to be handling it. You know, and I've done other long trails. When I come to a river crossing, I just walk across it and my boots will dry out, so I'm kind of used to that. But this is, like I say, this is a constant all day, every day. The other thing is, of course, pavement pounding. So maybe when you compound the fact that you're pounding pavement and have wet feet, that's just too much for some people. I know Gordon, I don't know where Gordon is. I may see him at Billy Goat Days. He's behind me. I saw on Facebook that he got to River Ranch and then he's looking for a ride up to Billy Goat Days, so I hope I see him there. And he's dealing with foot issues. But I think he should have checked himself into a hospital instead of River Ranch, because he would have got a cheaper room in a hospital and they feed you. I'll have to tell him that when I see him. So I ought to make pretty good time today. I mean, I've had these kind of grassy mowed roads through this piney forest. I mean, there are a lot of sections that are so muddy and underwater, but a lot of it's been pretty quick. And so even in the dark this morning, even though I had quite a bit of water, I had quite a bit of good road. And so yesterday I did 28 and had kind of a slow start in the dark because, like I say, in those hammocks, it's wide open. It's not like here where it's all jungly. And you really have to look for those blazes when you just have your headlamp on. So I did get off trail a couple times yesterday morning and had to backtrack to find my blaze, and I haven't had that problem today. So I'm really walking kind of harder than I usually would, trying to get to Billy Goat Days. I really don't want to have to get a ride or hitch there. I'd rather just walk in if I could. So I've got a resupply in Christmas, Florida, which I could make tomorrow maybe, or get real close. Box is already there, I know that. I'd like to go to the Baptist church there and take a shower. They don't have a laundry. Take a shower in my clothes so I don't end up at Billy Goat Days smelling like a billy goat. Should have never opened my big mouth about how dry the trail's been. Just keep your mouth shut, Dick. Now this looks like a nice dry spot to have some lunch. It's a little early, only 11:30, but in less than a mile I'm gonna hit a road walk. I'd rather eat out here at the alligators where it's nice and peaceful than on the side of the road. Oh, they even put a bench here for me, so that answers that. So this kind of puzzles me. I mean, I've walked through miles and miles of this beautiful cypress swamp here in Florida, and Usually you'd see snakes laying out on logs, sunning themselves. It must just be too cold down here, but you know, they are concealed. Otherwise they'd become bird food. And I have seen, besides the big cypress swamp, the 2 water moccasins I saw, I have seen 2 snakes since then, and they were both flying underneath a hawk. So they do get picked up. But I'm just, as much time as I've spent in Florida around cedar swamps, I hardly ever not seen snakes sunning, even on colder days than this. Follow the orange blaze. Well, I've followed the orange blaze all the way from the beginning, haven't missed a mile of it, but I think I'm going to try and hitch from here. There's 30 miles of road walking from here. If it's all pavement, I ain't doing it. I could stay home in Michigan and walk pavement. So far, so good. Assad from Uzbekistan picked me up and gave me a ride 2 miles. Now I'm on a road where I need to ride about 13 miles. Well, I got close. I got a guy in a Class B motorhome. Pulled over. I started running. And he took off, but I think it's because this is such a soft shoulder. I mean, he could have just stayed on the pavement. There's no traffic on this road. A car goes by every 5 minutes. But I think he kind of freaked out when he hit that soft black mud, pulled back out, and kept trucking. So I just got a ride up to 520. This has been my international hitchhiking day. So this guy's name was Miguel from Brazil. Runs his cattle farm here in Brazil. Got cameras all set up, showed me all his Brahma bulls. Anyway, he got me up to 520, and now I got to get across the Florida Turnpike, and then I hit trail again. Okay, that last ride was Roberto and his crew. They didn't have room in the truck, but they put me in the back on some tires and took me the last 4 miles of 520. You know, it's a crapshoot when you're hitchhiking. You just gotta find the right vehicle. And they actually pulled over into the other lane, so I just turned around. I figured they weren't gonna stop, and then boom, they were my ride. So now I'm still on paved road, but I think it's just a couple of miles down here and I get back on actual trail. So I'm gonna get a bite to eat and I'm good to go. So I don't mind the occasional 5+ road walk miles to piece a trail together, but I'm not doing 30+. Actually, the reason I went east around Orlando instead of taking the west route that goes over toward Brooksville and the Green Swamp and closer to where my daughter is because I noticed a 38-mile road walk on that, maybe even more. But I missed this altogether. I didn't know till this morning. I'm looking at my app and I thought, boy, that's a road. Oh, that's a road. Oh, that's more road. That's more road. So I thought I was gonna have to get 4 rides, but luckily the guy from Brazil was doing Deer Run Road or Deer Park, whatever. That was the longest one, and then Nova up to 520. And so it took me 3 hitches and 2 hours, so I didn't do too bad to get back trail. I mean, this isn't trail yet, but I'm real close to trail, and I'm sure I'm on trail all the way to Christmas now, and I'm hoping to Billy Goat Days. I don't like road walking, but I like stroop waffles. And my box in Christmas that I'll get tomorrow will have more stroop waffles. Thank you, Florida Trail Group, for this box of water. Hit the spot. So, I'm pushing daylight again and trying to find a dry spot to camp. It's officially sunset right now. And I just did something really stupid. If you watch my videos, you know I tell you to always look around when you get up. Don't walk away from your gear. And guilty. That last water cache with the box, I sat there and chugged a liter of water with a couple Propel in it. Filled my bottle up again, and I had set I usually carry my tripod selfie stick in my waist belt, and I usually lay it down with my poles, so when I pick my poles up I see it, but I didn't. But I put on Facebook because I know there's hikers behind me that are probably going to Billy Goat Days. Said if anybody could snag it, bring it to me, I'd appreciate it. I know after this, it's getting painted with bright fluorescent orange paint because it's black like my poles. Now this water is mud, and I hate to get into camp muddy boots. I don't mind wet boots, but I like some water to wash them down before I get to camp. So I pulled the pin and finally set up my tent, kind of a wet area. Tent's still kind of wet from this morning. It's gonna be a damp night, but I'm not quite out of the Tossahatchee swamp. Don't know when I'm gonna run out of water, so I found a little dry spot and kicked stuff out of the way, and it'll do for tonight. Broke my headlamp. I don't know, just they're plastic, this Nucor. Can't really see, it's too dark. I'll fix it in the morning if I can. If not, I have to get another one. Found one on the Colorado Trail last year, so I'll have my wife send that to me. Anyway, it's pretty hard to walk in the dark without a light, so I'm not sure how early I'll leave in the morning, but I don't have that far to get to Christmas. A shower, maybe laundry at the Baptist church there. I think there's a Dollar General and a Circle K and a post office with my box, my resupply box. I think that's all that's there. So we'll see you in the morning.